Hey, hi, and hello to everyone. My name is Sammy, and welcome to a Mortician's Tale. I had this game recommended to me by a friend in a Discord server that I'm in. And it looked pretty interesting, so I thought I'd check it out. This video will be a little bit different from what I normally do. Well, like a little bit. For one thing, I've heard that this game is only an hour long or so. An hour or so long. So I won't be splitting it into episodes. I'll just let it, play out as it does. Also, this is going to be a bit of a sleepy game, or a sleepy video. I'm already rather tired myself, but I have enough to get through this, I'm sure. And it's just going to be a nice little, happy, quiet little thing. I've got a cozy little glass of, or cozy little cup of peppermint tea, and I've got myself wrapped up in an equally cozy little puffy pink blanket. Very nice, very cozy, and we're just going to go ahead with this. I hope everyone enjoys. Start a new game. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. And here we are in the world. Looks like I have an emails, so we'll go ahead and read those. I do know that these read from bottom to top, so I will read them as such so that everything makes a little bit more sense. Especially when there's longer chains, that gets a little bit confusing. So here we go. From Amy Rose to Rose and Daughter staff. Hello, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlotte feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Welcome, Charlie. Oh, sorry, from Matthew Jeffrey. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the body to you and helps you with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Alright. From Amy Rose. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office/preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. From Jen Love? Huh. I guess my subject line says should start being more professional now, since we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I hope you're able to land this gig straight after... I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think about that much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because, as I said, you're now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funeral monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift / I love you / I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, Jen. I'll read that in just a moment. That's like actually continuing. Also, I will be saying I won't be reading these out loud because they're just like flavor text. They don't really add anything. But I will scroll through them for everyone to read if they so wish. So, here we are. Here we go. Something actually I should mention, I've considered a few times, and that's actually why I got this. Actually, I'll do the same for here you go while I talk. And it's actually the reason why I was recommended this game is because I am at least mildly interested in being a mortician myself. Like, death has always fascinated me, and I kind of like to work around it. And like to work around, what was I saying? I kind of forget, but, you know, just... I wanna do what I can to help families in mourning and to help give their loved ones a proper send-off and everything. I think that would be beautiful. Of course, I suppose what it really depends on is, one, how gory it actually is in real life, and two, how strong my stomach is in response to that. But I feel like it'd be kind of nice to do that, and do all that kind of stuff. But we'll get to work here. From Amy. Hello, Charlie. I hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to a sense of humor. Your first body is Miss Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Miss Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is planning to see her body, but I love to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Miss Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon, Amy. Oh, I did missed some stuff. So I will read these. You know what? I'm like trying to balance like time it'll take with getting as much of the experience as possible. So I do think that I will be reading these though. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated. And we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know that she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments to be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in this matter. Best, Mia. And then, Dear Mia, of course, we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. Take care, Amy Rose. Alright, let's get to it. This is the prep room, where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you're just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean it. Cleaning. There we go. That's it, you're done. Miss Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Miss Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. There's the arrow, so let's head on in. Let's go, I guess let's just go around clockwise. So we'll start with these two. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess? That's... yeah, I guess. Go ahead and pay my respects. There you go. We usually don't small talk a lot of these things. At least that's what I was always taught. I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy. But it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Alright. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be putting a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it, don't make me laugh right now. Alright, here we are. Let's head on back. October 11th, 10:09 a.m. Cleaning the workstation. Very nice. Sanitary work environments are very good. I say knowing that my actual desk is just covered in junk right now. From Jennifer Valentine. Oh, that's a long one. Let's start at the bottom. Or not a long one, yeah. But I meant that it had a second part to it, or a first part, then the second part. Anyways, let's just... From Jennifer Valentine to Charlie. Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse. So it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways, I totally agree. And I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. I don't actually know what effect, if any, corsets actually have on the human body. I'll have to look into that sometime. In any case, okay. So let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907. And the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria sigh, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant, so... TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies that I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet I'm treated like I know nothing about it. I'm having a day, Charlie. Alright, from Amy Rose. Just passing this message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together, and it was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together. It meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that. Together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best, Mia. From Matthew Joffrey to Charlie. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town. And I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you of the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But, so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, you know? While we were in the procession going to the cemetery, someone in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know not to get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed right into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyway, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've fully gone off the deep end. And she laughed and we all started giggling because, like, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, you know? There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I guess I just remember that story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before you get on ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Alright, I'll go ahead and scroll through this. And here's the website, in case it's changed. I don't know really. But let's get into our next job. Is that everything? Alright. Hi, Charlie. Here are the instructions for your next body. Excuse me. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man who died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter Lizzie Duval if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much, well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. I'll get right on it. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of him. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Alright, so just like we did, whoops, missed spots. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. There we go. I believe... Alright. Massage the body. I believe that embalming first became like, common practice when, I believe it was Abraham Lincoln when he died, or when he was assassinated. They wanted to take him on a tour of the country as it was at the time. Or at least to, like, certain cities, if I remember correctly. And that's where... And people were, like, wondering how they managed to keep his body, you know, clean and fresh and all that goodness. So they discovered that he was embalmed, and it first became a practice for the richer people, and then eventually kind of became commonplace, at least, you know, in the West, or here in the US at least. Or, you know, the America, like, you know, America, Europe, that kind of thing. It just started becoming commonplace. And that's kind of why we have embalming. I personally would love a more natural burial. I don't want any of those sorts of chemicals pumped into my body and then into the ground. I would much rather have a natural body, let my body decompose naturally, and just, you know, not impact, you know, just natural, basically, is the main goal there. But let's see how everyone is doing. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park and play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. What are you doing over here? Playing your Game Boy Switch DS. No, it's probably not a DS. It's two one screens humming to himself. Let's go ahead and pay our respects real quick. Here we go. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like, definitely not red no matter what. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, one minute you're laughing, having fun, and the next, poof, that person's gone. Just like, gone. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I think it's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird. And how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. Alright. Another happy little sip of tea. December 2nd, 10:22 a.m. Cleaning the things. Hooray, hooray. Alright, let's... Passing on this lovely thank you note. Hi, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening that you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you, Lizzie. From Jen. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate it when I try to give you dating advice, But hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea? Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight while I'm way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin, and witchy gothic aesthetics are super hot right now. Hell yeah, they are. But vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rants over. I'm gonna try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Alright, that sounds fun and interesting. Alright. From Amy to Matthew. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income, and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Take care, Amy Rose. And whoops. Here we go. I don't like the look of this. Not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab... Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse to the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. This, the whole, like, taking the car through the car wash while you have food, that alone makes me want to actually put in the effort to actually get myself a driver's license and everything. For some reason, like, the idea of just going through a drive-thru, getting some food from, like, McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, and then just, like, eating it, like, going into a car wash, and just, like, nomming on some chicken nuggets while I'm in a car wash, preferably, of course, one with all of, like, the spinnies, I don't know what they're actually called, but just with all that kind of stuff where it just kind of does its thing. And just like, you know, dinner and a show kind of thing. I feel like it'd be kind of fun. And I'd love to do that sometime. Just like, as like an activity to like do one evening. I just want to do it. But in any case, where was I? Oh, this one. I love this one. I'll go ahead and scroll, but it was nice to see some piece of media touch on this, because I don't really see it touched on anywhere else. The idea of this is to point out just in general that, LGBT funerals, or rather LGBTQ funerals, deserve like a little extra respect and everything. Like, you have to go a little bit above and beyond with it. But one thing I did like was that it made an extra effort to be like, hey, like, trans people exist, and you can't, like, you have to, like, proper respect and proper, just all that kind of stuff. And I really liked it, and even called out, like, right here, I believe, that the all that kind of stuff is bullshit. And where it's like, oh, gender at birth and that's it, blah blah blah, ha ha ha, screw you, trans people. But like, if you're gonna be like respectful at someone's funeral, you gotta fucking show respect to people and call them by the right name. And that brought a tear to my eye. I like that. Rose and Daughters, I don't know if it's changed or not. I'm assuming it hasn't, but oh well. From Amy. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died of breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. Okay, I'm on it. Before we cremate Miss Hall, we need to prepare her body. Miss Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process, as do not damage them. Let's start by removing her necklace. So let's just flip, and the identification tag. There we go. All set. I won't be reading all of the instructions thing, because it's very straightforward. I know what I'm doing. And I'm trying to get this through as quickly as I can, while, still paying attention to the story and everything. This is the cremulator. How do you pronounce this word, you later? Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as to bone fragments. Using the cremulator, we'll break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. We'll start by placing the urn. There we go. This I actually didn't know. Well, I'm gonna finish with this call, actually. Whoops. I actually did not know this. I will say I have already played this at this point. I intended originally to record my first time playing through, because I felt like it would be pretty nice to have, but unfortunately my recording software crashed on me, and it just was having a really bad time with it. So I went ahead and restarted. This is actually my third time recording this all the way through. And I'm just crossing my fingers, I mess with some settings. Hopefully I actually get the recording this time. But in any case, let's go ahead and go around. Oh, I was gonna say, kind of like, I didn't know that until my first time playing the game, that it's basically just bone dust when you get ashes. And I thought that was really interesting. But let's go ahead and... She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. Alright, whoops. Okay, here we go. Pay your respects. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. Another sip of tea. I did a good job with this tea this time. Very delicious. Glad she was cremated and not in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. And these two? This is nice in a weird way. She liked that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Alright, and back into it. February 14th, 10:14 a.m. What was I actually doing there? Was I warming my hands over the coffee? Also, has this warm coffee been here this whole time? I'm going to go ahead and just assume that it's been the same coffee somehow keeping itself warm this entire time, because that makes me happy and I think it's funny. Oh, what's not so funny is this next message. Hi all, it is with a very heavy heart, that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. Excuse me. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and have more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So, we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of the month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes, Though, honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but admittedly, I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. From Amy. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this thank you note. Hi, Amy. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our requests for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. From... yes. Okay. Oh, this one actually does kind of read this way, so... I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self, and it would be great for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. From Jen Love, a challenger approaches. Insert the Super Smash Bros. Like siren here. Charlie! Hold on. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. And then, here's our episode of Funerals Monthly. Go ahead and... there you are. Oh, that one's actually nice and... oh, the Green Burials one! Hey! That's what I want to get done. Very nice, very nice. And, ooh. Alright. Time for me to fail immediately at this. Here we go. Let's start right here. I don't actually know what these symbols really mean. Ooh, that cleared up a lot. Okay, that's... yep. I knew it. That is a lot of ghosts. That is too many ghosts. I'm gonna go for just one more game. I wish I knew what these symbols signified. Do they actually mean anything? Okay, so that must be 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle with the dot is 4. The thing that looks like a 4 means 1. So weird. I have a friend who would probably be way into that. He's a big fan of that kind of stuff. But let's like I said, this is gonna be a sleepy one. Hi Charlie, please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Hi Amy. You were asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just, please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Alright, let's take care of that. So, yeah, we don't want to put a pacemaker through the furnace. That's probably not a good idea. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables to him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove before the cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. So let's go ahead and remove it. Just slice, forceps, get that out of there, and whoops, tag, all set for a sip of tea. I suppose I could have hit the button before getting my sip of tea. I am low on tea. Alright, let's... I like that they actually gave... whoops. They gave the bones, like, fun physics. It's fun. I am having fun with a person's remains. That feels a little not cool of me. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop a lid on there. And let's head on in. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Go ahead and... Here we go. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course, he never listened to me. So that figures. How about you two? What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use you now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? Whoops. You're supposed to be over there, Charlie. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it, stubborn. Alright, and we are done here. This game, you crank through it pretty quickly. February 28th, 10:35 a.m. Let's go ahead and Check our emails for today. Hi, Amy. I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet, and it hasn't been easy. And, oh, we're at this part. Okay. This part always hits me, but I'll go ahead and get through this real quick before I get into that. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. Okay, this I actually kind of want. It'd be kind of nice. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. And I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. I feel horrible for her writing all of this on a phone. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins from the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Don't tell people I said that. But seriously, it's pretty cool. Happening. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Here we go. Here's this. I scrolled a little faster, I apologize. Let me... There we go. Here's the website. I doubt anything's really changed. Okay. I'm gonna say that this next little portion deals with some deep stuff. I do recommend perhaps skipping ahead a little bit if you feel like you need to. But this next part deals with suicide, and it hits pretty hard, especially for me, for reasons I'll explain in a little bit. But so let's go ahead and read from bottom to top. Oh yeah, this guy, I will say, he can fuck right off. Because he's dismissing everything that his son wants. And that honestly really upsets me. But I will go ahead and read it. Good day, Miss Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns the matter of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. He can fuck right off. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation. Yet anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes. So his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you're uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body to prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. Alright, I'm about to maybe get a little bit emotional. First off, yes, I'm comfortable with this. I have faced suicide in my life a few times. I've made a few attempts on my own life in the past. None, of course, were successful. And I want to take a moment to say, like, if you're ever, like, in that place, or I suppose I should say I've almost made a few attempts. I'll get into that. Oops, don't need those yet. I'll get into that in a moment, but I do want to say, if you're ever in that place, like, please talk to someone, a friend, a family member, just, if there's anyone you can talk to, please, I beg of you, seek that help out. Or even if you don't really have anyone in your own life, like, try a call, suicide prevention line. I've never tried them by myself, but I've heard from people who have, and just, you know, hang it, like, oh, well, I don't want to say hang in there because, you know, that might not be taken correctly, but, you know, hold on, like, I can speak from experience that life gets better. You just have to make it through the hard parts. And I did say I would get into what stopped me. Yeah, I will get to that in a moment, but I just... kind of got through everything I was going to say a little bit too quickly. Let me go ahead and just finish this up. I'll continue this in a moment, but because I really need to be able to set the scene and everything like that, so I'll just finish him up. Here we go. So, here we go. I'm here before you. So, the reason why I didn't go through with it, you'll see a representation of here in just a second. This right here is why I could never go through with it. Each time that I've decided that I'm done, each time I, you know, just held the knife to my throat or my wrist or just whatever way I planned to do it that particular time, I just saw this, essentially. I saw my family, and they were at my funeral, and like my sister's crying into my mom's shoulder, my my, like, dad and my brother and whoever else are just all questioning, like, what could I have done different? Like, what could I have done different to keep her alive? To keep, Samantha alive? And I never want anyone to feel like my own pain, like my pain is their fault. I don't want, like, I don't know, I could never do that to them. I don't want my death to be left with questions of what could we have done different. I want it to be, she lived a decent life. It was rough in some patches, but she made it through and she made it to the end. That's the kind of stuff I want at my funeral, not what could I have done differently. I'm just gonna say again, if you're having rough times, talk to someone. If you know me, like, to any degree, you'll know that I do everything I can to help out my friends if they're feeling rough. And I'll sit there and I'll chat with you and I'll help out. I'm not even really the greatest at doing that, but at the very least, I'll sit there, listen, read every word, or hear every word you have to say to me. And I'll try my best to offer any advice that I have. But, so if you, like, know me on any level, like, if you know me on Discord or whatever, I am someone you can talk to. Even if, like, I don't know, even if, like, I don't know you, and you have some way of reaching out to me that I am able to look at, please go ahead. I don't mind. Unless it becomes like a full-time thing for me to have to do, I might start, like, pushing people to find other places. I don't know, and I hate to have to do that, but I don't know. My channel's not big enough to worry about that anyways, so I guess that's fine. But seek out help wherever you can get it, please. It is basically the moral here. I'm gonna go ahead and go around to everyone now. Sorry to get so emotional and go on that little tangent there, but this kind of thing is meaningful to me. Oh, that right there gets me right in the feels. Oh. Give me a moment. Okay. I still can't believe I've got my eyes right now. You know? I need to do something to stop it. That right there is why I've held on for so long. There's no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know, it hurts. Yeah, I know. I think it's time for a sip of tea. That's the last of my tea. I heard it wasn't going to be open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private. I wish we were closer. I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him. When he asked, Quiet sobs. I'll have Lily put up some numbers, a number for like a suicide prevention line or something. I'm gonna take this opportunity to do that. Lily, actually, could you, through that entire part, just like at the bottom or wherever there's space, just have a number. Just, if you need it, it's there. Get help, please. Just seek out help from wherever you can get it. Because that's some heavy stuff. But let's keep this going. Excuse me, hold on. Alright. From Chad Grant, another wonderful asshole. I hate him. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be the leading... Wait, what? Glad to be the leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. I think that first "the" isn't supposed to be there. From Matt. Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No? Okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for too long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Wanna grab a drink after work? I need to blow off some steam. And emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. From Jen. Okay, this reads from top to bottom, I think. Can't really write. I have work to do. I have to deal with an anal hernia from 750. It's the oldest in our collection. This bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people out there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. Funerals monthly. Here we are. And the website for Hillside Heritage. Playing it safe with the all fives. Well done. Well done indeed. And a cremation. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I couldn't bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you, Leah. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. You can go fuck yourself. You'll see why I'm like really heavy on the go fuck yourself with this guy in a little bit, but yeah. Remove her watch. Up. Tag. All set. He's just got this whole thing for like upselling people on different things, and it's just like, dude, this person lost a family member and you're going to upsell them for like cold sandwiches, like, and like stuff to have at the funeral. Like, shut the fuck up, asshole. I am Bones. Okay. I don't know. I am not cool with that. Alright. She was always so careful. Wore her home, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, for this, let's see what we can do to help. Shouldn't deal with the death of our partner all by themselves. You know, we're going clockwise, so there we go. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. I have to go through all of her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No, thanks, I mean, but no. I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. So, yes, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. Look, that's what I need, like, every day. Except maybe not wine? Maybe something else? I don't know. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. You know, maybe not like alcohol, maybe a little something more like smoky. If you know what I mean. Drugs. Anyways, emails for today. I'll just read this one from top to bottom, I think. Yeah, I can just... Charlie, I need a drink. Bjork. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not ever say hey either. That's just silly. Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. Shit, I'm covered in the things. If you have visible tattoos, ensure that they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Fuck you. Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. Fuck you. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Fuck you. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Fuck you. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Fuck you. Our partner catering concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from the factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. Fuck you. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted and effective immediately and to ensure a smooth transition to the high quality services Hillside Heritage is known for. Go fuck yourself. I'm throwing you into the cremator. Okay. Hello, Charlotte. Okay, also, can I just say, right there is all you need to know that this guy's an asshole. He doesn't even refer to me or to my character as her name that she prefers to go by. Even if it is just a nickname, like, still assholey. I reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage can and will perform green burials. I should have known of this at the beginning, but we do not perform green burials as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust in you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Double finger salute. Fuck this asshole. I really don't like him. Of course, we've got Jen over here cheering me up a little bit. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. His obsession with money. I mean, I get it, it's fucking capitalism. but it's fucking disgusting to me in this particular. I mean, it's disgusting in every field. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Fuck capitalism. But in this fucking subject of death, when the family is mourning, when the fucking, like, everyone's distraught, to, like, upsell them and, like, to especially use the fact that this family is distraught over the loss of a loved one, to be like, oh, but don't you want him to have a good funeral? Don't you want to give them the best funeral possible? Blah, 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 blah. It's disgusting. It makes me feel genuinely physically ill. And I hate it. Here's the fucking website. Woohoo. Alright. Charlotte. I'm proud to announce that Hillside Heritage received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here, as it is the most cost-efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling is a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. I'll take care of it. I don't know, it's just, when it comes to death, respect the family's wishes. Don't try to upsell them. Don't, like, that's just garbage. And as someone, like I mentioned, I do consider getting into this field. So this kind of stuff, like, kind of hits me hard. So, I don't know, to some people I might seem like I'm overreacting a little bit, but it's just, I'm passionate about that kind of thing. So, let's go ahead and take care of you. Alright. A very quiet and sad funeral. Alright. April 9th, 10:19 a.m. Got an itch in the back of my head. That's wonderful. Thank you, me. From Chad. Hello all. We are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over 15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprises' bright and sustained future. From Matthew. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how happy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions, so I'm not worried about myself. But you I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. We'll bring the beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. From Jen, I kissed her. Oh gosh. We got some lesbian loves. Woohoo. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she's like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was worried you'd lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily. Oh hey, Lily. You got... Well, there's an L missing, but yeah. Cool. And she's death positive and isn't freaked out by my work. And also isn't too into it like that last dude. Jason? Michael? God, I can't remember. I bet those are references. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper like, you know, Jason from Friday the 13th and Michael. Oh no, is that Friday the 13th? The camp one? Yeah, I think so. I've been getting into horror lately with a friend of mine. And Michael is Michael Myers, obviously. Well done, game, well done. Maybe his name was Freddy. But, yeah, I've never actually been a fan of horror as a kid, or as a growing up. I'm only getting into it more recently because it's occurred to me that horror, at least in terms of like 80s horror, is just code for Gorefest, which I'm here for. Like, I don't mind gore in films at all. Real life, maybe it might be a bit different, but yeah. Yeah, I've been watching some horror films with a friend of mine, and I'm finding that I enjoy them a bit more than I would expect to. Anyway, sorry to get distracted there. Here we go. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that like working in death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked and it feels good. Fun and like dating should be. Indeed. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on the top of a Ferris wheel and be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support 100% no matter what you decide. Funerals monthly. Here you go. That one's a short one. Go ahead and pause if you would like to. Ooh, and it looks like we're registering a business. Fun. What is this scroll bar? Does that go anywhere? Doesn't look like it. Interesting. A scroll bar to nowhere. I wonder if they intended to put something there and they kind of just forgot to or something. Who knows? And this is like the tip top, like, ugh, that I kind of get with this guy. I'll go ahead and read it through and you'll see. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, oh hey, I have a cousin named Kofi. That's definitely not his last name, and that's definitely not what he looks like. Although I think he did grow a beard recently, actually. But, anyways, Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. I'll scroll from here. It's a little bit faster. Whoops, what am I doing there? Here we go. I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you, the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed email for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. I want to scream just reading his lines. Also, I've been to an in-home. I don't know if you have any of you. I've been to an in-home funeral once. It was for my great-grandfather, I believe. When he passed away, we drove down to the front. In that general area, in that general couple of states. It was one of the first funerals I remember being to, and it was certainly weird. It was a weird experience for me, being as young as I was. I think that the casket and, the body were only actually there for during while it was happening. They didn't keep him around, basically. But it was an interesting experience, and probably one of my first experiences with the concept of death, and I totally didn't get it. If I remember correctly, actually, I thought that family members were tied to the house that they live in. So I'm like, oh, so whoever gets the house next will become our new great-grandpa. And my mom just looked at me like the idiot that I was the idiot that I was, I don't know. I was equal parts dumb kid and smart kid, and I don't know how them mixed together. But it worked itself out in a really weird way. Um, but yeah. Let's go ahead and drain those fluids. There we go. It mentions a Mike. I don't know who Mike is, because the other one, it's not Mike, that's someone else. It's like Matthew? So there's like another person in this world named Mike, who I don't think we ever see. I don't know. It's weird. Let's go ahead and talk to everyone. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh, hey. What did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show is so good. I saw the video of the one kid actor doing karaoke. Wonder what show that is. Pay respects. I really hope the recording is holding in there this time. Do you think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what Mom asked for. I know, honey, but what that Chad guy said seems right. I don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want Mom to know we loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Me too. It's so cold in here. I think they have their air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later? It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. Wow, you and me both. August 30th, 9 o'clock a.m. Ooh, I've got a new office. What's going on here? Is this new business? From Amy Rose to Charlie. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. From Matthew. Hey Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully, I concentrated on my driving skills. Since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver. Charlie, can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason, I was worried you'd think less of me. But I don't know why. You've never seemed the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, Might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy I told you that. She's always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing ya. From Jen. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally, being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain everything you don't want to do. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for a visit and check out your new space. Always, Jen. Yes, have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you. That sounds wonderful. From Eileen. Okay, I'll get to you in a moment. But here's our new website. Yay, us. We did it. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Best to Eileen. I'll see you soon. Alright. This hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much. But thank you for helping me give her the funeral she always wanted. Oh, and it's like a green burial and everything. That's wonderful. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. And there it is. That's the end of the game. No matter what, every single time I played this, it fucking hits me. My third time playing it all the way through now, and it's still like, it's excellent. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining me on this ride. This is an excellently crafted game, and I'm happy to have gotten to share it with all of you. Especially you, friend, who suggested this to me, who will not be named. For I do not know whether you're comfortable with being named or not, but thank you regardless. My first time playing through this, actually, it kind of like, it was all internal, so you're not really missing out on anything. But it kind of got me to sit there afterwards, and like during and afterwards, and really thank you for crafting a beautiful game. Got me to like sit there and just contemplate death for a second, and I feel like that's something we should all do. We need to get like, we should all try to become more okay with the fact that we're going to die someday. Because I think it was mentioned at some point before, the fact that we die is what makes life so amazing. Whether you believe that like it all ends, or you go onto like heaven or whatever, or you get reincarnated, or whatever you believe, the fact that like this chapter, this story ends, is what makes every single chapter so meaningful, in my opinion. And I feel like that can be applied to any kind of, you know, any interpretation of what might happen after death. I don't want to get too into it, but I'm personally of the belief that it just switches off. That just seems the most logical to me. But maybe like we face something more after our life is ended. Who knows? But definitely this, I don't want to say it changed my life, because that's too big. But it's definitely made me a lot more content with life. Or it's helped me become way more content with life. It gave me like a stepping stool to like actually start thinking about things, and that was much a thing that kind of needed to happen for me, I feel like. In any case, I just realized that I did mention at the end of Tomb Raider that I would be playing my favorite game of all time. This, as excellent as it might be, is not that. Um, though I do believe that this game may have taken a place in my top 10 or maybe even my top 5. Who knows? I'll have to make that list someday for myself and see where everything lies. But I really enjoyed sharing this with all of you. And I hope you'll join me next time for when I actually get into my favorite game. Hopefully. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!